The family that was gang raped, beaten black and blue and then dropped on a highway now fights the system to seek justice. It has been 7 days since that nightmarish episode, but apart from a few leads, the police has failed to make any major headway in the case. In fact, the police blatantly denied the rape charge and questioned the victim's version.
सब कुछ हुआ, मैं आपको क्या बताऊं, सब कुछ हुआ, हमारी डॉक्टर ही नहीं हुई है क्या, मैं निकलना, सब कुछ हुआ है, मैं दिखा नहीं सकती सारा नंगा बदन करके, ये रे जालिमों ने।
वो गलत है और वो आरोप लगा रहे हैं, मतलब केस को दबाना चाह रहे हैं। कोई ऐसा है अपनी मतलब माँ बहनों को या घरवाली की बात उछालेगा, बलात्कार, सीधा बलात्कार करा, बहुत बुरी तरीके से करा है।
एसएसपी साहब ने वहाँ कहा है रिपोर्ट में कि बलात्कार जैसी कोई घटना हुई नहीं है।
This family's ordeal did not end at the Bulandshahr highway. After being robbed and raped, they are now fighting the system. And the police inaction is so evident that the family says they will resort to taking their own life if the police fails to act.
मतलब हमारा देवन नु गई, मतलब तुम्हें पैसा दे दिया, हमने धीरे दे दिया, तुम्हें सब कुछ दे दिया हमने, मतलब तुम ऐसे मत कर, तुम्हारी माँ बहन नहीं है आ गए तो मतलब फिर हमें जंगल में ले गए, वो हमारे कपड़े उतारे, हमारे
रोते वो आंसू तो पूछे हैं, हमें इंसाफ दे, हमें इंसाफ दो, ओगी जी हमें इंसाफ दो, हमें इंसाफ चाहिए, कुछ ना कुछ तो करेंगे फिर हम, कि हमारा घर का घर लुटा, सिर का सिर पिटा, हमारी इज्जत भी गई, सब कुछ हो गया, लेकिन कुछ भी सुनवाई नहीं है अभी तक।
From day one, the police seems to be in a hurry to dismiss the gang rape claim, even contenting themselves with the claim that the police acted promptly.
देखना है कि जो घटना हमारी है वो और जो इन्फॉर्मेशन हमें मिली है उसके बीच में लगभग 50 मिनट का गैप है, लेकिन वो जैसे ही इन्फॉर्मेशन मिली है उसके बाद हमारा जो रेस्पॉन्स टाइम है मेरे ख्याल से दैट इज फाइन।
पूरी बॉडी से जो है जहाँ जहाँ पे भी उनके फॉरेन डीएनए पाए जाने की संभावना थी, उसकी सबकी स्वैब्स ले लिए गए और उन स्वैब्स को एसएसएल लैब लखनऊ भेज दिया गया। उनके कहीं पे भी क्लोथ्स पे या शरीर पे कहीं पे भी सीमेन के कोई स्ट्रेन्स नहीं थे।
Even Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath lauded their quick response in the case.
हम लोगों को जो व्यवस्था प्रदेश के अंदर मिली, विरासत में मिली है, वो एक जंगल राज की मिली थी। अराजकता, घोर अराजकता, सत्ता के संरक्षण में अपराधी यहाँ पे पल रहे थे, फल फूल रहे थे। घटनाएं घटित हुई हैं कुछ क्षेत्रों में, ये दुखद है, लेकिन उन घटनाओं का पर्दाफाश भी उतनी जल्दी हुआ और उतनी तत्परता के साथ उस पर अंकुश भी लगाया गया है। कानून का राज हमारी प्राथमिकता है, हम कानून के राज को उत्तर प्रदेश के अंदर स्थापित करेंगे।
It has been 7 days since this assurance. With no arrests in the case, now the family has taken their fight for justice to the very doorstep of the Chief Minister.
मिलने के लिए बुलाया गया था आप लोग को या खुद मिल आए? खुद मिल आए। क्या मुलाकात हुई, क्या बात हुई? हमारी मुलाकात जो हमारा दर्द था, हमने उस दर्द को बताया, उस दर्द की दवा उन्होंने, अरे सामने देखिए वो क्या दवा दी उन्होंने, दवा ये दी जो हमें यकीन दिलाया, हम उस सब बहुत खुश हैं।
Meanwhile, local politicians have made a beeline and are quick to turn the issue into a political slugfest.
जिसमें मीडिया के बंधु ही इस परिवार से जबरदस्ती बयान जारी करा रहे हैं, तो ये प्रयास किया गया है, इसे सांप्रदायिक रंग देने की पूरी कोशिश की गई।
Even as crimes in the state continue unabated, do all the families have to meet the Chief Minister for the redressal of their problems? But can the citizens trust the government that has failed to keep the very first promise they made to the citizens of Uttar Pradesh? Is Yogi Adityanath too busy with photo ops to make the state safer for its citizens? Mirror Now report.
But there's a very simple question we're asking this evening. 8 days after that shocking case on the highway, where a family was robbed, beaten, allegedly gang raped, and one of them was murdered, why is it that there hasn't been a single, not one arrest? There can only be two explanations. Either the police in UP are dragging their feet on purpose because they're protecting the people who committed this crime, or the police in UP is just incapable of doing its job. There is no third explanation for why there has been no arrest up until now. in this particular case. Joining me on the show this evening, Anila Singh, spokesperson of the BJP, Vikram Singh, former DGP of Uttar Pradesh, Avisha Singh is a very senior advocate, especially for women's rights. Anuja Kapoor is a lawyer, a criminal psychologist and a social activist. Rajiv Davar is a lawyer with the Supreme Court, and Nasir Abdullah is an actor who cares very deeply about women's rights. Vikram Singh, we've talked about this case twice so far on this show. I'm shocked also at the fact that when our reporters called the investigating officer, his entire response was, "Hum nahi bata sakte. We cannot tell you the details of this investigation. We cannot arrest just anybody. Poochtach jari hai." Does it take 7 days, Vikram Singh, to nab someone for murder?
It doesn't take 7 days. हमारे पास बताने को कुछ नहीं, क्योंकि हमारे पास बताने के लिए ही कुछ नहीं, क्योंकि हमने कुछ किया ही नहीं. We have done nothing, therefore we have nothing to contribute to the debate and the discussion. Now to mistrust and to question the survivors is another atrocity that is being committed by the police, in the sense that first of all you should have arrested the accused, and you have put the CMO, the medical doctor, in front of the camera to say that such and such things were not found. I would not even take the names of those objects and substances, because the sense of decorum prevents me from talking in these gory details in front of ladies. Now 3, he should have understood that the definition of rape presupposes not necessarily that there are 5 ingredients, and those ingredients will not necessarily be reflected in a medico-legal examination. Okay, if you do presume that rape did not happen, first arrest the accused, interrogate them, put them through a lie detector test, put them through narco analysis, also examine the other circumstantial evidence, and then say that perhaps rape was not committed, but the fact remains that a crime was committed. And if the crime was committed, what was that crime and what were the circumstances? Why were the women alleging rape? Because 99% cases, even if rape does happen, the woman out of shame does not register a case of rape. Under these circumstances, I think the police need to put their act together, arrest the accused first, and go through all the evidence that they have been able to collect, have an SIT examine that, and then come out with a white paper and then claim whether rape happened or not. As of now, the police, and Mr. Dilip Singh is absolutely right, he has nothing to disclose, because he has nothing in his kitty which will be convincing, which will give an element of finality in what he says.
Well, Vikram Singh, you said SIT, you said the SO should be removed. The last time we spoke, there is no SIT. It is the local police who's investigating this case. Avisha Singh, you know my problem with this whole thing? The police distracting with the idea of there was no rape, the victims are claiming there's rape, there was no rape, there was a murder. Everybody knows there was a murder. There was a murder with 3 surviving eyewitnesses who saw that murder. There was assault, there was robbery. Why aren't the police simply making arrests in at least these 3 crimes? Why are they spending their time trying to disprove rape?
Exactly. The issue is here, there was a robbery, there was a dacoity, there were more than 5 people involved, there was a murder, as you rightly said, and if there was rape or no rape, that should be the secondary issue. First, you arrest the culprits, and also the Evidence Act very clearly says the onus of proving that there was no rape will be on the accused. So first you arrest the accused. How are you becoming the mouthpiece of the accused and saying that there was no rape? Secondly, under the IPC, there's a provision of 211 which clearly says that if a false case is filed to injure the reputation of the person or to cause injury to him, then you can register a case on the person who's filing a wrong case. So these were subsequent procedures. They could have done a 211 if there was no rape found. But in the first place, by making such a press conference, it clearly shows that the police are under political pressure. Police are not trying to investigate the case, and that is the reason no arrests have been made till now. And I feel now action needs to be taken under 166A of the IPC against these very police officers who are trying to say that no rape took place.
In fact, Avisha Singh, I want to play out this recording. On day 7 yesterday, my reporter spoke with the circle officer Dilip Singh, who's in charge of this case. Listen to this phone conversation of someone who should be getting to the bottom of this case as soon as possible. Listen to the attitude that he, with which he answered these questions.
Is that Mr. Dilip Singh?
Yeah.
नमस्ते सर, मेरा नाम अपूर्वा है. मैं मिरर नाउ न्यूज़ चैनल टाइम्स नेटवर्क से बात कर रही हूँ. मैं एक्चुअली अभी गौतम बुद्ध नगर पुलिस स्टेशन ये आई थी एसएसपी ऑफिस एसएसपी साहब से मिलने के लिए, बट अभी वो है नहीं। मुझे बस आपसे ये जेवार बुलंदशहर वाले केस के सिलसिले में कुछ आपसे जानकारी चाहिए थी, कुछ इन्फॉर्मेशन और अपडेट चाहिए था। सबसे पहली बात, कोई अरेस्ट हुआ है क्या अभी इस केस में?
नहीं, अभी कोई अरेस्ट नहीं है, पूछताछ चल रही है।
कितनों से आपने अभी तक, क्योंकि ऐसा बताया गया, मैं भी वो परिवार वालों से मिल के आई, उन्होंने कहा करीबन 6 जन थे जो वहाँ पर थे
जी।
तो आपने कितनों से भी पूछताछ की है? कहीं पर भी किसी भी चीज पे अरेस्ट होने की संभावना?
कई टीमें पूछताछ कर रही है।
कई टीमें पूछताछ कर रही है क्या? कोई
अलग टीमें पूछताछ,
अलग अलग टीम पूछताछ कर रही है क्या? किसी तरह की एसआईटी वगैरह संदिग्ध की गई है इस चीज में?
जी,
किसी तरह की स्पेशल इन्वेस्टिगेशन टीम वगैरह कोई बनी है यहाँ पे?
नहीं, इसका इन्वेस्टिगेशन एक अलग ब्रांच को दे दी गई है।
किस ब्रांच को सर?
वो यहीं के लोकल ही है।
नहीं, मतलब एसआईटी वगैरह कुछ कॉन्स्टिट्यूट नहीं किया गया है ना, आप ही लोग कर रहे हैं?
हम ही लोग कर।
सर एक बात बताइए, क्या आपको किसी उनमें से, उन परिवार में से किसी एक ने आपको स्केच वगैरह आपको उनने आइडेंटिफाई किया है किसी अक्यूज्ड को?
ये सब नहीं बता सकते, इट इज अ पार्ट ऑफ इन्वेस्टिगेशन।
पार्ट ऑफ इन्वेस्टिगेशन है। और ये बताइए सर, तो अभी आपने क्या क्या चार्जेस लगाए हैं? आपने एक मर्डर और इसका रॉबरी के चार्जेस लगाए हैं बस अभी, या गैंगरेप भी लगाया है?
सब लगाए, गैंगरेप भी लगाए।
क्या क्या?
आई एम वेरी बिजी, प्लीज
सर बस एक चीज बताइए, अभी इतने दिन से, इट्स ऑलमोस्ट बीन 7 days, अभी तक फिलहाल कोई अरेस्ट क्यों नहीं हो पा रहा है? क्योंकि एटलीस्ट रॉबरी
इसका कोई जवाब नहीं होता है मैडम।
बट सर रॉबरी, आप ठीक है, गैंगरेप तो उसका एसएफएल रिपोर्ट तो बाद में ही आएगा, बट रॉबरी और मर्डर के लिए तो आपने अभी तक अरेस्ट, कुछ तो हेडवे तो होना पड़ेगा ना?
किसको कर लिया जाए?
क्या सर?
जब तक मुलजिम सही नहीं मिलेगा कि ऐसे थोड़ा अरेस्ट कर लिया जाएगा, कोई छोटा केस थोड़ा है।
बट सर जैसा कि अभी फैमिली मेंबर्स भी बोल रहे हैं कि उन्होंने बहुत सारे
अब आप मैडम, आई एम वेरी बिजी, प्लीज।
Vikram Singh, that's the circle officer in charge of the investigation. What's your response to those answers, Vikram Singh?
I am privy to this conversation, and it is an escape route of Mr. Dilip Singh. Obviously, he has nothing professional to put up before you, and the least he could have done was to restore confidence of the people, and it is the job of the media to indulge in constant digging and get out the facts in the interest of justice. Obviously, Dilip Singh and his team of investigators have nothing in their kitty to place before you, and therefore, it was a convenient escape route to say, I am busy, I am busy, I am busy. I am busy, but I have been able to get nothing. And I have been busy, but yet I have not been able to make any arrest. Nobody asked him that to make fake arrest. But we do expect the UP police, a professional police force, to arrest people with cogent, logical set of evidence and see to it that arrests are correct, have them thoroughly interrogated, put them across to various scientific investigation and tests, and then come out with a conclusive proof. If it is not a rape, then give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 reasons that this is not a rape. Merely because on the face, on a knee-jerk reaction, you said that there was no rape is most unconvincing, unprofessional to say the least. Now, on the last show, I said I would recommend the suspension of the SO. Now I would recommend the suspension of the CO as well for being unprofessional and not giving the true facts. I would not say that it can be held against him, but not arresting accused after 7 days is also a major lapse.
Anila Singh, spokesperson of the BJP, here you have a very senior police officer saying the police is being unprofessional. Why is the police in UP being unprofessional in this particular case? Why is it that the victims of this case are not getting justice? Anila Singh, can you hear me? All right, Anila Singh might not have that audio. I'm going to take that same question to Rajiv Dawar. Rajiv Dawar, lawyer, Supreme Court. Do you believe that the police is being unprofessional in this case?
You know, let me tell you one thing very honestly. When you take a look into the entire circumstances of the case and examine what has been done over the last 1 week, 2 inferences come onto the surface. One, that either the police or the local investigating agency is not capable of, as you rightly said, or they do not want, for one reason or the other, to investigate deeply into the matter. A horrendous crime like this, you know, which is a blood-chilling crime, it would stop the blood of any normal person if he's going to have the facts of the case before him. I mean, not even the facts, but if you just hear the bare allegations that are being made. I mean, how can any officer within 3 days or 4 days of the investigation having been entrusted to him say that there is no evidence? I mean, this is a preposterous suggestion that anybody on this planet is trying to make. Unless the man has been asked by some authorities or happens to be hand in glove with some people or with vested interest, where he doesn't want to say as to what is the real story behind it. I mean, you have to understand one thing, that this kind of a crime, which is called a drug crime, a gang rape, or a party crime, there are reasons which lead to this commission of an offense. Now, that could be a major assault. That could be a fact that there's a big, large-scale drug abuse, or there's an alcohol abuse with the people who had perpetrated this crime at that particular time. Now, the timings have been selected. And this is not the first time that on this location or on this particular expressway or near to the airport, which is still to come up, we are going to notice anything which is going to be something new for the citizens or for the public, to hear as to what is being done or what's been happening.
Rajiv Davar, the thing that worries me so deeply about this case, and I'll bring Nasser in on this, how many times have we as women been on the highways of our country? How many times, watching at home, have you thought, I have a male family member with me, or I have 2 male family members with me, so I'm safe? These people had 4 male family members with them. 4. One of them who was shot in cold blood, point blank, in front of his relatives' eyes. The women were dragged into the fields and gang raped. And now, 8 days later, they're having to beg for justice? This could be any one of us tomorrow. This is obviously an organized crime. This is obviously a gang that knew what it was doing, that has done this in the past, that had a routine down. Why is it so difficult for the police to actually give this family justice, make arrests? You cannot possibly expect us to believe that the local police doesn't know who this gang is. You cannot possibly expect us to believe that the local police, after 8 days, is not able to find any of these people, despite the fact that there were so many eyewitnesses. What is going on? Nasser Abdullah, this is really scary, because it could be any of us tomorrow.
Which is very evident if you compare the crime rate in Uttar Pradesh or in UP, and this road especially, which is a heavy vulnerable area, the Bulandshahr area, and then connecting on to the main expressway or made it in the close vicinity. We had a case earlier where a family traveling in a bus was dragged down in the year 2016 in the month of May. Then there was the case of the mother and the daughter, who were both of them repeatedly raped, and then that case went down into the cold storage, and I don't think there's anything which has been brought into the notice of for the authorities, or a voice has been raised in order to get the culprits onto the law and order situation. Now, when you say that the police officer or the IO or the investigating officer or the STM, he does not know the way how to proceed with it, like one of the other panelists said, that there is a suggestion that he ought to then quit the job and then look for something else.
Nasser Abdullah, isn't this scary for every citizen? And this is something that we should get to the bottom of this, because it should reassure all of us then.
Yeah, what is very, very disappointing for me to hear is the fact that the police are actually saying,
or not examine the evidence which was available.
Right. One at a time. Nasser Abdullah, go ahead. Nasser Abdullah,
So what really disappoints me is the fact that the police is actually doubting the statement of the ladies who claimed that they had been raped. Now, it takes a lot of the guts for a woman to come up and say, this has happened to me. Women who have ulterior motives in various industries, the film industries and the business industries, that's another story. That may be lies. But I cannot imagine a common woman who is actually traveling with her family, who's actually undergone the rape, and the police are saying, no, it takes a lot of guts. A dear friend of mine, no, actually my close relative was almost raped 40 years ago. She was almost abducted. You know what? I never reported it. I was too scared, I was too young, and the fact that no rape had happened and the abduction was unsuccessful, I didn't do anything about it. I'm barely talking about it now. 40 years ago to the date, 41 years ago. So why would, it takes a lot of a lot of guts. So to make a woman look like a liar is extremely mean. And I think the cops should never ever do it. And then, you know, they will play with the medical reports and there's no semen and all that. Forget it, man. And the other thing that really bothers me is that they are trying to downplay it. I don't know why. I understand it's a difficult case, as the boss, Mr. Dilip, had said. I understand.
How is this a difficult case? You know, Nasser, we should not cut the police any slack. How is it a difficult case?
How do you arrest somebody? How do you arrest somebody?
How big is Bulandshahr?
No, hang on. Is there a CCTV camera?
The easy cases
I understand it's hard,
difficult
but
at all.
They must not play with the matter and make it look and actually bring it down that, oh, this did not happen. Sure, they must do it. They must be knowing a way. They must arrest the suspects. Let
me bring in the expert. Anuja Kapoor is a lawyer and a criminal psychologist. Anuja Kapoor, does it first of all sound to you like these people were one-off criminals, or does it sound like they were regular criminals who knew what they were doing? Remember, the family was driving down the highway. Both of their front tires burst, which means someone did it to them. They got out of the car and they realized they only had one spare tire, which means they had to call for help. They were stranded on the highway. And when they were stranded on the highway, these people showed up out of nowhere. Obviously, organized criminals who knew what they were doing. I refuse to believe that the police cannot track down organized criminals who were doing this on a regular basis. Anuja Kapoor.
This is definitely a premeditated, the whole crime has been premeditated. And it was not only premeditated, it is an organized crime, which you have rightly put it. And when we say that it is a casual approach of the police, and the police is crying like a baby. Why? Because they are saying everybody is putting it on the police that we are not able to perform and all. The problem is they are the ones who are the first informers of the crime.
Anuja, I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt you for a second because I've got Anila Singh and the connection is very weak. We keep losing her connection. I'm going to come back to you and I want you to respond to what she says. Anila Singh, if you can hear me now, my question to you is, why is the UP police dragging its feet? Is it protecting the criminals or is it unable to do its job? There can only be one of these two options.
First of all, UP police is not dragging its feet. Secondly, I'm not going to do any advocacy on the behalf of administration. Administration is answerable to the government and government is answerable to the people. So I'm going to tell what local police is doing. Yes, what CEO Dilip Singh was saying about SIT is not there, but local police is working with STF and they are working with the help of neighboring police and the neighboring state police as well. They are working day in and day out to solve this case. But at the same time, because of media pressure or because of what opposition is saying about Jewar case, we can't pick innocent people under the pressure.
Who's asking you to pick up innocent people? I think this is outrageous.
Accused are behind the bar, so we can't do that. So I can very well tell you that UP police, or I can say the police of Gautam Budh Nagar, they are working hard to solve this case. And in the beginning, when connection was okay, at that time I heard that somebody was mentioning that police is not recognizing that the women were raped. It is not so. It is not so. So police is recognizing whatever has happened there. Police is working out and today the victims, they had gone to meet the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh and he was very sympathetic with them and he has promised that very soon the case will be closed and the accused will be behind the bar.
Is it necessary for every...
from the government now, I can only say...
Is it necessary for victims of all crimes to meet with the Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister, get an audience with the Chief Minister personally in order to get justice? Is it not their right to get justice without getting a meeting, without having to meet the Chief Minister and ask for it?
It is their right. It is their right. It is their right. It is their right, and we should appreciate UP police for opening up the case of Allahabad, Meerut, Saharanpur, and Rampur as well. We should appreciate what they are working, but definitely the Jewar case, in the Jewar case, still the accused are not behind the bar. And at the first place, crime shouldn't be there. But what to do? It is a hard luck. We got the Uttar Pradesh infested with crime and criminals.
Did you not want it?
Working very hard to.
Anila Singh, you say it's bad luck.
Sorry?
You got Uttar Pradesh that's infested with criminals. Did you not want it? Do you consider the victory of the government in Uttar Pradesh bad luck?
Is so bad. It is much more bad than imagination. It is much more bad, and even the administration, they have to get used to that this government, like BJP government, is not like the previous government. They have to work hard. So work culture has started changing, but it is going to take little time, and I am hopeful that very soon the perpetrators will be behind the bars.
It will take a little time. Very soon, these are the time limits being given to us. Abha Singh? I refuse to believe that every victim has to go to the Chief Minister begging for justice.
I'm not ready to go by this. I think the energy, of course. I don't agree exactly. In fact, I feel the energies of UP police are now being used for love jihad, cow slaughter, but women are even low priority to animals in UP. That is why the police officer says we cannot arrest anybody, we don't have any leads.
I don't
Why can't you? And you are saying you're talking to other states.
Please do not target UP police like that. Earlier the governments were very bad. They used police for their personal cause. Now Bharatiya Janata Party is not like that.
When we know Bulandshahr has so much crime, when we know highways on Bulandshahr are not safe, why don't you have CCTV cameras in that way? Why don't you have police vans? Why don't you do road patrolling? When last year a mother and daughter were raped, when a mother and daughter were raped last time, why don't you patrol those roads?
So you cannot target the government here.
When the criminals know that the women are going on the school.
That even the administration is going to work in discipline, and very soon
again. It is repetitive.
In UP,
this crime
criminals
is repetitive,
will
which is
not be
worrying.
getting any.
Vikram Singh, do you believe that these are justified?
That neighboring states, you need a policy in the road not to collaborate with other states.
I am saying no crime of any nature should happen, and we are working on it. Our Chief Minister is very serious about it. So you cannot say police is just for love jihad, for anti-Romeo squad. It is not like that. I will appreciate.
No, then when the crime happened earlier, when you know that maximum
what UP
cases are happening
doing
in
right now, have they opened up any cases or not?
Of UP, then why more policemen are not patrolling?
Faye, if I may, if you permit, I'll just have two sentences, please, for Mrs. Anila Singh.
Vikram Singh, and then Vikram Singh, I'm completely unsatisfied with these answers. Very soon is not good enough for me. Vikram Singh.
But because Gautam Budh Nagar police is not picking any innocent people because of the media trial, you cannot say that.
One second, ladies, 1 second. Vikram Singh, go ahead. Vikram Singh.
Faye, with the greatest of respect to Mrs. Anila Singh ji,
behind the bar.
Ma'am, with the greatest of respect, may I submit that the UP police is an excellent fighting machine, people-centric, for the cause and service of the people. But please allow them a free hand. Nobody expects the UP police to pick up innocents, and nobody expects the police to fudge their statements and things, but genuine arrests are to be made. Sitting from here, I can tell you that the typical modus operandi, as has been enunciated by Faye or given out by Faye, means two things: that the former criminal tribes are the predators in this case, and I could give you 6 cases which had a similar. Get hold of all those 6 cases and you will have worked out your case. But to look like absolute babe in the woods like Mr. Dilip Singh ji, it gives a very poor impression about the UP police and its professionalism. UP police is an excellent police force, maybe the best that I have had the privilege of serving, and I could in fact request you to have 2 things in mind. Dilip Singh has already made a premature disclosure that no mobile call records were discernible at the scene of crime. Do you think a professional police force will disclose that? It will never. Number 2, when a lady journalist asks, you say we cannot make a premature disclosure and we cannot make a premature arrest, but you are already making premature disclosures. Sitting from here, I can tell you this is a typical modus operandi of former criminal tribes and gangs, and you get after them, you will get your gangs in no time. This is the 8th case. 2 you are aware of. 6 I can tell the local police, look this way and you will work out your case. Madam, UP police is an excellent police force. Give them a free hand and I am sure your case will be worked out.
You know, I want to bring in Anuja Kapoor here. Anuja Kapoor, the fact that Vikram Singh says this is organized crime.
Vikram Singh ji, with due respect, I really appreciate that I really appreciate what you have said about UP police. But at the same time, you cannot say that Bharatiya Janata Party government in Uttar Pradesh is not giving free hand to police to work on this case. We are not like previous governments. We have given police free hand to work because it is their duty to control law and order. So you cannot accuse UP government like this. We have given
Anila Singh, let me make this very clear. Anila Singh, let me make this very clear. This is not about current government versus previous government. In fact, you will notice on this panel, there's no opposition party. We haven't invited anybody else from any other opposition party. We're talking about this specific case, this specific investigation, and the fact that there are no arrests.
BJP has given free hand to police. BJP has given free hand to the police, and you must have heard the statement given by Principal Secretary Home as well.
I want to ask Anusha Kapoor this one simple thing. Anusha Kapoor, you're in Noida right now. When you leave my office in Noida, it will be little past 9 p.m. Will you feel safe?
Yes.
Good habits.
Definitely not. Again, I would say that it is not there because many times it's not only around 9. I have sometimes going back home around like 11:30. And there was a time when there was a guys who were there on the bike and they actually banged my window with their helmet. Now, so that I can gain that attention to them, and then definitely the luring is going on. Now, what I'm talking about, Anila ji, it is not about the present government or the government next or the previous government. It is about the crime. The crime which is happening, it is about a message. It is about how does a woman feel safe. And you and me have been sitting in various panels. And this is what you and me have nothing in personal, but you are representing a woman yourself. You have to understand this very fact that where we are sitting, you and me has to join together. And we have to understand that the women should not be the ones who should be at the victim of any of the other government. It is about how do we handle the crime and how do we solve it. It is all about solving a crime, do you know? It is not about how many cases are pending. It is about solving. The more we solve, the more we are in the eyes of BJP. The way you want to say that, you can take the credit. So let's solve the case, and it should not take 7 or 8 days. It is not about that. It is about understanding the crime, why it is happening, and how can you eradicate it. We cannot eradicate the whole 100%. But definitely the tribals are there, the police doesn't know. Are you serious? The police knows about it. They are the one, they know where the criminals are, they know where the tribals are working. Don't you think this is premeditated? This whole modus operandi which was there, the way they tried to block the area, the way they punctured the tires, the way they dragged the women, why they're doing this? They're doing this only because to make you people understand that law and order is behind the bars and the criminals are in front of you. So we have to understand that there is something, a switch is going on. The criminals should be behind the bars.
Anuja, I know that you are excellent criminal psychologist. I know, and an outstanding lawyer as well. I know. So, but at the same time, I just want to request one thing on the behalf of government, that media as well as people like you who are so very well educated, and you people are like pillars in the society, that government is very serious about controlling law and order situation in Uttar Pradesh. Today we are discussing on Jewar, but other days we had been discussing about other cases as well, whether it was Rampur or whether it was Saharanpur. Those cases have been solved, and the officials who were not doing their duty properly, they were suspended or transferred. So I just want to say one thing, that the cases or the perpetrators who are behind the bars, we should appreciate that effort also. Today we are discussing about the Jewar case. Yes, the accused are still free. They are not behind the bars, but I can assure you, police, administration, everybody is working very hard, and I am very, very sure that they will be behind the bars very soon.
Are these answers? Tell me one thing. Let me respond to that. Anila Singh, if there's one case where there's no justice, that's one too many.
Same as the
If there's one case where there's no justice, that's one too many. Don't tell me that because a couple of other arrests have been made that we should acknowledge that and not bring up the fact that this family is threatening to set themselves on fire in front of the police station because they believe they're not getting justice. We have to acknowledge what's happening to them.
I am agreeing what you are saying, and I'm not shying away from the fact that yes, criminals are out there.
Madam, I just wanted to say one more thing to you. I think the government in all over India...
day in and day out and get them...
Yes, madam. You know what? I feel, and I think you ought to take this very seriously, your party, you need to ensure that there is some amount of education in this area for our menfolk. Nothing has been done in the past, whatever, 50 years or more, and I'm not blaming the BJP or everybody has been not attending to the matter. You are showing the harmful effects of smoking repeatedly on a movie screen. You are showing how bad it is and all that, but you're not showing the people who are watching the film how to behave with their female counterparts. And I think all these rapists should not be called rapists, it's a romantic word. They should actually be called the terrorists because they actually terrorize weak, innocent women who are unable to defend themselves. We should not use the word rapist. We must do something to prevent another generation of rapists to actually come in. We have to do that. Education is very important. Nothing has been done. Oh, smoking kills. You're constantly showing that in the movie theaters all over India. Nobody wants to see it again and again. It's very boring, but we have to put up with it. Sorry.
All right, I want all of our panelists to listen to what this woman has to say. Anuja Kapoor and Rajiv Dawar, I see your hands up. I'm going to come to you in reaction to this victim and what she says. And in also response to what Nasir Abdullah just said, that weak women who cannot defend themselves. I'll tell you what has changed now, Nasir Abdullah. This channel is here. And we are here every night to defend the women of this country. And we will do it night after night after night, till the governments of all of our states are completely sick of it. Yeah. But we will defend the women of this country. I believe on this channel that women's rights and women's safety should be top priority in our country. Everything else comes in second.
Absolutely.
Animal cruelty and looking after the cows and making sure that, whatever else it is that we're looking after in this country comes second. The most important thing is how we treat half the population of this country. And this is how we're treating them right now. Let's listen to these voices and then tell me with your hands on your heart that the tear didn't come to your eyes and you don't want justice for this woman. Listen to her voices.
कोई अपनी इज्जत की धिज्जियां उड़ाड़ सकता झूठी? आप ये बताइए। अगर वो झूठ मानेंगे तो चारों महिलाएं, चारों जेंट्स, सातों बच्चे भाई के सब जाके थाने में आग लगा लेंगे अपने आपे में सब। पुलिस जिम्मेदार होगी इस बात की। जब वो हमें झूठी साबित कर रहे हैं तो हम आप क्या करेंगे? हमें अपनी जान ही अच्छी न लगेगी फिर?
हाँ, मांग कर रहे हैं और हम तो ये कह रहे हैं होगी जी हमें यहाँ पे और हमें इंसाफ दे में। हमारे रोते हो के आंसू पहुंचे हैं, हमारे बच्चों पे हाथ फिरा में, हमें होगी साफ चाहिए ना पे। हमारे रोते हो को आंसू तो पूछे हैं, हमें इंसाफ दे में, हमें इंसाफ दो होगी जी, हमें इंसाफ दो, हमें इंसाफ चाहिए।
हम तो यही कहना चाहेंगे कि उन्होंने कुछ कर दिया है। हम क्या झूठ बोलेंगे इतने बड़े उसमें? बताओ कितनी शर्म की बात है। कहेंगे कि हमारी सुनवाई नहीं है, इतने दिन हो गए, आज एक हफ्ता होने को जा रहा, आज एक हफ्ता ही हो जाएगा रात को। बताइए फिर हम क्या करें? कुछ ना कुछ तो करेंगे फिर हम, कि हमारा घर का घर लुटा, सिर का सिर पिटा, हमारी इज्जत भी गई, सब कुछ हो गया, लेकिन कुछ भी सुनवाई नहीं है अभी तक।
Rajiv Dawar, how can we go to bed tonight knowing that there are women in our country being treated in this manner?
Now, let me tell you, it is absolutely nightmarish. Anybody who's looking at this program now or has been watching this program or following it up otherwise for the last 1 week is definitely going to get the jitters, provided you apply your mind to it. Now the point is, the minimum that the police has to do is to ensure that the investigation or the evidence does not get destroyed in the initial stages. You know, it is absolutely very, very important. The first 24 hours and the hours following that, the maximum evidence that you can collect, the maximum number of searches and the raids that you can conduct will be something which will bring a lot, you know, as far as the compilation of the evidence against the accused is concerned. You draw the sketches, you make the site plans, you have the other viscera and the other, parts of the body being examined. But on the one hand, you say that we are busy or we don't have the time to do this. And then you do certain things which are not having the sanction of law and are neither in agreement with the Code of Criminal Procedure or with the other laws as to the rules of the police investigation. After a rape case, how do you allow a woman to have a shower and to cleanse her body, knowing it fully well that the first thing which has to be done is to take her to a safe place and to put her in a hospital and get the medical examinations done? Exactly. Now, if this is being done here, that is clearly evident of one thing. It points out only in one single direction, that the investigation would get botched up. Yes. And then you blame the court after about 3 months, and then you have a status report being submitted to the court and saying that we have not been able to collect evidence which is strong enough to nail down the accused. And then you blame the innocent court for not following up the procedures, after the 3 months that have been given to the police to amply deal with the situations.
Absolutely. I want to bring in Anuja Kapoor. Anuja Kapoor, you made an observation about the footage that was running on our screen. Yes. Please tell us what it was.
Yes. Okay. Now, what I was just looking into it, look into the victimology of the victims. Now, when you look into it, they have tears in their eyes. Their body, non-verbal cues was very evident. So non-verbal cues are when if I close my eyes and I hear their voice. So when I was hearing their voice, I could see that they don't have to lie on it. They are feeling it, they are memorizing it, they are in pain, they are telling you. So, that pain, if it touches my heart, it means it has happened. Now, they are telling this once. One thing is there that they've been raped. They've already been physical, emotional and mental trauma has already been there. And the next is they are being asked to lie. To lie it on the show that you're not been raped. So now this is what is happening. The problem is, first, forensic science is a big failure in India. We are not able to gather, as rightly said by one of my colleagues, that the forensic science is not able to, every case cannot go to Singapore. I'm so sorry. Every case cannot go there like Nirbhaya. We have to understand that we are lacking. And the more we identify the problem, the more we will be able to bring a cure to it. We can prevent it. We need crime prevention.
Right. And if we live in a world where the government is constantly saying, no, everything is happening as it should happen without acknowledging the fact that there is a problem, then how will we solve the problems that Anuja Kapoor has just pointed out? JP Shukla is on the phone line from Bangalore. Mr. Shukla, thank you for holding. Go ahead. What would you like to say?
Yeah, good evening, Faye, and good evening to all members of the panel. I have been watching this program for the past 7 days. Faye, it's very nice to see that you are covering every issue. Mosquito, job losses, water problems, broken roads, and this monstrous rapes. My point is, what are the people we have voted to power in every state, at every constituency and the parliament doing? Are they damn sleeping? What is their job? Have you seen the security around the chief ministers and the home minister? Are their lives so very important that people on the street, those who put faith in them and voted them to a responsible position, neglect the citizens of this country? I will draw out one more example. Look at our foreign ministers. At every beck and call, she's out there to help some Indian in distress outside India. But not a word from her about such kind of atrocities on women and children and other sufferings. Another example is to be drawn from the president of Philippines, who is going around and conducting actual surgical strikes on drug peddlers. I want to ask this government and the previous governments, what have you done? What are you interested in talking about? GDP and growth and foreign investment? Go all over the world, go to different countries and learn from them how basics are run in a country.
That's it's a fair question. What is the government doing? Madhav is on the phone line from Chennai. Madhav, very quickly, go ahead.
Good evening. Very nice to meet you all. One thing I want to say that in the case of any cases, the criminal law speaks there is two types of evidence. One is primary evidence and the collaborative evidence.
Yes.
Whereas in the case of rape case, the testimony is given by the victim itself. It's considered as a collaborative evidence. It is cited by the Supreme Court in the case of Punjab versus Gurbat Singh. And the most important thing is the rape case should be handled very immediately because it's the criminal is has to be apprehended immediately. So the law has to proceed further. If the investigation process itself delayed, the accused can be escaped from the court of justice.
Right.
So in rape case,
right. I understand what you're saying. In rape cases, you have the victim who's standing in front of you and giving you witness and giving you a statement. Abha Singh, what a good question the gentleman asked. Where are the governments of all of our states? Whether it's a Congress government, BJP government, Aam Aadmi Party government, we've noticed whether it is a communist government, whether it is any other sort of regional party, this is the way women are being treated across our country. Where are the governments? What are their jobs, Abha Singh?
Exactly. I mean, my biggest issue is why are the police acting or the medical doctor acting as a mouthpiece of the rapists? Because the victim's word is final till it is proved otherwise. And if your medical opinion says, because the law goes on Evidence Act, so if the medical opinion says there was no rape, then why don't you file a fake case against these victims under 211? If the police is so confident, you are trying to not do anything. You are just trying to protect them by maligning the reputation of the victims, saying that they are filing false cases. I would say police action needs to be done against the police officers because number one, when it was detected, police reached on the spot. Why was the evidence not collected properly? Why the forensics were not done? Why the swabs were not taken properly? And after 3 days, you call a press conference and say that there was no rape. I want these policemen and those doctors who said that to be arrested first. Let a message go that you cannot mess up with the women of this country. And when the law is very clear, when the Evidence Act is very clear that the victim's word is final and it will be the accused who will have to prove that they did not commit rape, then why is the police or the doctor acting on behalf of the rapists?
And Abha Singh, if right now we're still getting very convinced responses from all parts of the government saying, nahi, tehqiqat ho rahi hai, poochtaach ho rahi hai, 7-8 days later, it obviously feels like nobody knows the seriousness of this particular case. Nobody is putting any sort of pressure on these police officers to actually do their job. The audacity with which that police officer, Dilip Singh, responded to our reporter saying, I'm really busy, I don't have the time to give you this sort of information, obviously means that he doesn't believe that this is an important case.
Or he was guilty.
Definitely say they are waiting that you lose interest and stop running the issue on the television. They want the media interest to die down so that they don't do anything. Otherwise, if they know that there are tribal gangs operating between UP, Rajasthan and Haryana, whatever states, why don't they arrest them? Why no arrest preventive action was taken after the earlier rape case? Why? Where are your petrol vans? Where you talked of big things? You talked of women's safety, women's security. It is all because of media, and now they are keeping quiet. They're saying we don't want to arrest anyone wrong. Nobody is asking them to make fake arrests, but you have to arrest the right person because the message has gone that there is no law and order in the state. You can carjack and national highway. Your roads are not safe. What are you talking of? You talk of big things, but these small things are more important. Women's safety is first and prime, and that is what this government, for whom women are a low priority, it won elections on saying that it will make women safe. But once they have won the elections, women are low priority for them. That can be seen from the guarded response of the police. By now, they should have been arrested. But after the IO says that, suspend the IO. If he is not capable, he is not fit to be there in the police.
Anila Singh?
Yeah, I don't know why Avisha Singh ji is hyperventilating so much.
I completely understand. In fact, I completely understand where Avisha Singh is coming from. I am hyper.
It's my concern. It is my concern for the women.
No, let me reply now.
You have to be hyper. That is why you are not
hyperventilating, Anila Singh. I am surprised you are not hyperventilating, seeing another woman go through what I just played on the screen.
Situation because I can understand the agony and the pain.
I
can understand
women.
the agony and the pain and the psyche of the women sitting on the panel. Yes, I can understand, ma'am. So let me reply. And you cannot accuse Bharatiya Janata Party like that we are not bothered about the women. We are very much bothered about the women. So you can say this thing about other political parties. We are here. We have hardly been here for 2 months. And I promise you
but you have been in the
soon you are going to say
for
yes.
3 years,
Anila Singh, in law and order situation.
If I may,
but if you say there should be a magic wand and Yogi Adityanath,
medical officer say that no rape took place. I take an objection to the press conference. Anila Singh, please ask how they had the press conference saying that no rape took
not
place.
possible.
You can accuse this business of this government has only been here for 2 months. You have been in the center. You have been in the center for 3 years. You have been in the center for 3 years. To turn around and say the center has zero power over the states actually makes me wonder about our entire federal system.
Your home minister is from Uttar
needs to revisit her constitution. I think she doesn't know. Anila, listen to me. Anila, you know what it is going on. Anila, listen to me. Anila.
Yes.
The problem is, please, Anila, listen to me. The problem is, it is not about the center, not about the state. I would like to ask Sushma Swaraj even on this. She's trying to protect the girls who is outside India and bringing the girls from outside India to India. Okay, she's more bothered about the women who are outside India. What about the women who are inside India? Have she ever spoken for the women who should be protected inside India? There is a main problem which is happening. The women inside India are unprotected, and she is more bothered about bringing and protecting the women from outside India. So what you're talking about is the center and talking about the state.
Anuja, I don't have to justify about Sushma Swaraj.
No, you have to justify Anila Singh about everybody. I want to understand why is it?
It is about bringing the women from outside India to show.
Why is it that our Home Minister has never made a statement about the safety for women? Why is it, Anila Singh, that our Home Minister has never made a statement about the safety for women? Why is it that the Minister for Women and Child Welfare hardly ever talks about the safety for women? Why is it that while our Prime Minister says Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, we never talk about the safety for women? Why is it that none of the union ministers will ever acknowledge that we have a problem when it comes to the safety of women?
Spare Sushma Swaraj, she is doing her job. Let her do that.
Okay, then Mr. Rajnath Singh, who is our Home Minister, Mr. Rajnath Singh is our Home Minister. When has he made a statement about safety for women?
Defend the women in the country.
This is not her job.
The women in the country.
Please, you all are misinterpreted and you are misrepresenting the situation. This is not her job. The job is to understand that she is a woman of India.
Representing the situation
at all.
I am very clear what I am saying here. My government is very serious about curbing the crime which has been planted by earlier government.
Okay.
Yogi Adityanath is going to approve crime and criminals.
Maneka Gandhi has a capacity to ask in the parliament.
All right. Let's calm down. Ladies, let's calm down. I understand this is a topic that upsets everybody. I have to wrap up this discussion right now. I want everyone to just calm down for a second. Anuja, just give me a second. Just give me a second. I just want to wrap up. Anila Singh, I can hear you. You're saying that the government is serious. I promise you that we will track very closely the seriousness of all governments in this country. For governments or for the police who think that we might get bored as the media and move away from this case, I have news for you. We don't bore easily. Especially not on this channel, and especially not when it comes to crime against women. We're going to be watching every day, every week, every month, every year for as long as it takes for you to get to the bottom of this. For members of the government and members of the police force who turn around and say, do you want us to arrest an innocent? We would like to arrest the actual criminal. That, my friend, is law and order one-on-one. That you have to arrest the criminal. That is the basic expectation. That is your damn job. Just because we're demanding you do your job, nobody here is asking you to arrest an innocent person, for heaven's sake. That argument is so hollow that it doesn't distract us for a second. Our demand is very clear. There are 7 eyewitnesses in this case, not 1 and 2, 7 eyewitnesses. There was a murder at point blank and in cold blood. There was assault and there was robbery. Even if you want to dispute the fact of whether or not there was rape, crime was committed. Arrests have to be made. And I promise you, we will not let you lie on this at all. We will not let you sleep at night. We will annoy you until you are forced to do your job. Because like I said, of all of the issues happening in this country, this is the most important to us. In any state, in any government and any police force. We will keep bringing it up until you solve this crime. Because that happens to be your job. This happens to be my job. Thanks for watching.